so prevalent, so important and visceral, stuck in your stomach that needs to come out, needs to be released, turned out to actually be a con man that was looking to take people's money and spend it on drugs. If it didn't work, I was bust. Hello, I'm Hayden.Bloomfield and welcome to the channel, and say hello to Dotty, our dog. Right, run along. 3 biggest failures to avoid when starting a business. These 3 failures or mistakes or problems to avoid in business are just 3 points that, upon pondering, reflecting on when I started out in business, are things that I feel I did well, and also things that I really messed up on. So these are the key components. There are plenty more. There is so much complexity to starting a business. But if you've dived in, you've made that step, you've started, or even if you are through your business, hopefully there will be some value here to take away, because even if it's something you are doing, to have that point drilled into you, which I found in so many times, if I was reading a book of something I'd already read, or if I was listening to someone that I knew was going to tell me stuff I already knew, it's about having that drilled into you. You'll learn a lot in learning new information, but sometimes having the same information repeated back to you will do so much to get you back on track, because it's so easy to just forget about things and start slipping away from it. So let's jump in with the 3 most significant that I found at this point when I'm recording of what I wanted to reflect on. Stick around to the end, because point number 3 will be so vital for you if you are thinking about starting a business before you've even started, or if you've kind of made a few little jumps but not quite there yet. Number 1, do diligence. Do your research, do your homework, know the people. I suffered with this when I had my first website built. The person that I was communicating with and was looking to do my business with and to build my website turned out to actually be a con man that was looking to take people's money and spend it on drugs. Didn't realise that until later on. And I lost not only the money I used to pay for my website, I also lost other money where we were investing in different opportunities. We actually went to go start a business together that never got off the ground, never got anywhere. And now when I reflect back on it, I see the manipulation, I see the mind tricks around building up to that excitement, really bubbling your bubbles, getting your stomach going, getting that adrenaline pumping through your blood so that you'll go, take my money, whatever the opportunity is, let's jump on it. Build that website for me, let's go on this business venture, and be able to stretch it out for such a prolonged period of time that while you're communicating with them, it's like, yep, okay, you've taken my money, all right, okay, there's a delay, I understand you, yep, got it. And you build this trust, so I'd like to say be friends, be trusting, but don't always be too trusting, but do have some due diligence there and get to know the person and what they've done, what they've achieved. And this is where personal referral can be so powerful. If you are looking for service, looking to have something done, or going into business, whatever it is, recruiting people, using external marketing teams, if you can get them from a place of referral where people have personally used them, experienced a great service, great products, that is so powerful to move forward with. And also if they've got that existing relationship, it just gives you so much more evidence to work with. Next point, the biggest mistake is shying away from a network. There's a reason they say your network is your net worth. That's because of the connections you can build, the lessons you can learn. It's not just about if you know Bob and Bob knows Phil and Phil knows John, who you want to speak to, and you can therefore do business, but it's also in the wealth of experience, the wealth of knowledge, and obviously the wealth of the wallet that people have that you can build connections with to learn from. When I started my business, I went along to a business network, and when I was speaking to like the people, as if you've watched the story of how I went from uni dropout to success at 25, you'll know I talked about I worked for a tree surgeon. If you haven't seen that video, I will forget probably to put a card in the corner, but after this video, jump through the channel, have a look at the videos, you'll find that one. Make sure to click like on this video if you enjoy it, and obviously subscribe to the channel to get plenty more videos. So I talk about I worked for a tree surgeon, and we had like a little network of tree surgeons we'd work with. And within that, I went along to this business opportunity to network with other business owners in the area. The response I got from them, the other tree surgeons, was a bit like, oh no, it's all some pyramid scheme of like weird club, cult thing, and don't bother with that, you never learn anything. I went along to it, joined, signed up with all the money I had. Literally, I paid the fee to join as a member. If it didn't work, I was bust. But I started getting work straight away that enabled me to, like, I paid back the cost of membership in like the first month, I believe it is. So never be shy to network. Go to these network meetings, get to know. There's plenty different. There's BNI, Bob, ABC networking, and depending where you are in the world, in the country, there'll be all kinds of manner of different opportunities to network, not to mention in different niches. Like if you're in property, there's property meets, even just in hobbies, like not necessarily for business, but if you're in hobby, like you have this online now, especially after the pandemic. You have this with Discord, with Clubhouse, with Facebook groups or meta groups. There's so many different opportunities to network and get to know people that share the same passions as you, and it can be so vital and so inspirational. When I joined BNI, so in this, it allowed me to sit down with business owners that I'd otherwise never get the opportunity for. Like, if you imagine going to a business owner or going to a business saying, can I meet the business owner, please? Oh, do you want to grab a coffee or something? Are you free this afternoon? Are you free this week? They'd just be like, no, I'm way too busy, please, just leave me. Whereas, because you're in this network, a key part of it is that networking, is those one-on-ones, getting to know people. It's all part of the game, so to speak. And it allowed me to just sit down, listen, hear the stories, share my ideas, and just take in this wealth of knowledge. And it allowed me to develop so much, and it's to a point where I can have such detailed depth conversations around business, managing people and trying to build a team. But I learned so much from it, and it's something that never shy away from building your network. There's a reason they say your network is your net worth. My last point, as I said at the start, at the beginning of this video, if you have not yet jumped into starting your business, or if you've kind of made that leap a little bit, but not quite, here's a really valuable piece of information for you to move forward with. And that key mistake to avoid is preparing for the perfect moment. There is never going to be that perfect moment. In this example of my own life, I think, right, launching a podcast, it involves having an idea to speak about, it involves having a title, a thumbnail, a list of people I want to work with, it involves having a mic, but what mic is the right mic? Maybe I want to film it as well, maybe I need a studio, and this will just ever grow. There will always be something else. I could get the mic, get the camera, get a team member to work with me. Oh, I've got one team member, but maybe I should get someone to edit it for me as well. So right, I'll get an editor. Whether I use a freelancer or employ someone. Oh, what else do I need? Well, I could do with a videographer to film it. I could also do with a script writer or someone, or I could do with a marketer to then bring in some guests as well as market the podcast once it's up. Or I could do with social media to then promote the podcast for me online. Ignore the perfect moment. You always find barriers to entry when you're looking for that perfect moment. That's not to say just get started as soon as you can. Like, when I reflect back on when I started my business, I think in some respects I got lucky with the level of ignorance I was able to begin with. I had been fortunate in working for a small one-man team business that I learned a lot of the insights I have mentioned in other videos. Like, I'd done paperwork days, I'd gone on job quoting so I could see how it could work and how I could quote a job and get an idea of what I'd need to charge. Therefore, I had a leap up there, and I'd only done the job, like I hadn't actually done gardening work when I moved into gardening. It's just something that had been prevalent within my life, within my family. So do your, as I said, do your due diligence, and that's about trusting, not trusting the right people and seeing who could be potentially conning you, but also it's about researching your homework and knowing what you're talking about. If you're going to start a podcast around benevolent business, you better be able to have some questions, really valuable questions, and be able to live a life and purpose driven by benevolent business, because otherwise people aren't going to feel that authenticity when they sit down with you and talk about benevolent business. It's got to be something that's so prevalent, so important and visceral, stuck in your stomach, that needs to come out, needs to be released. Have that in your life, move forward with it. Don't shy away from that perfect moment. Work with what you've got. There are so many books to help you out on this, which I'm sure I'll do a video on. But they're the 3 key points. Of course, they've been valuable for you. And as I said at the start, it's not about always getting new information. It's about having the same old information that you knew before already. You probably already knew this, but having it drilled into you can sometimes help so much. And when I said, like, prepare for the perfect moment, that's not just about starting a business. That's also in taking someone. When I employed people, I was constantly in this mindset of like, oh, am I ready, am I ready, am I ready? Dived into it, and it kind of worked out for a bit until they realised. Or whatever it is, buying a house, buying your first investment property, work with the evidence you've got. Obama said it, with in the pressures of being a president of a nation, you have to make a lot of decisions with very little information. And he talked about the example of Osama, and when they had little spoilers of where his location could potentially be. These were tip-offs. It was not concrete evidence. He had to make a decision based around, should he send a team in to that location based on a tip-off? He was never going to be 100%. And Obama says about, if you can get to a 31% level of certainty, that's enough to move forward with and act upon. Contemplate that idea. There's a reason he said it. There's a reason it's valuable. There's a reason Stephen Bartlett always brings it up. Or there's a reason Stephen Bartlett said it on stage. There's a reason Rochelle Humes, in the most recent episode of Diary of a CEO, mentioned it to Stephen that the reason that she's made so many actions herself is because of listening to this key piece of information that can help you move forward with. If you've enjoyed the video, make sure to like, subscribe, so you can get plenty more videos in the future. Until the next one, have a great day, have a great week, have a great life.